Happy Wisdom Wednesday, everybody. I have another great book for you this week. And again, in light with all the scandal with Cambridge Analytica and Facebook, I figured that it's a good time to bring this book out. A lot of students who are in big business schools like Stanford and Harvard and many smaller business schools don't even know about this book, which is really disappointing because one of the people that they admire most, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, actually recommend this book not only to their friends, but tell their friends that if you love your children, you'll buy this book. So this book was written by Dr. Robert Cialdini over 30 years ago. It is the foremost leading book when it comes to consumer psychology and, more importantly, the principles of persuasion. Now, I'm not asking you to like these rules, but merely I implore you to learn these rules. Now, fortunately for you, I got you covered. I do recommend you buy this book. But I'm going to teach you very quickly the 6 principles of influence. And even if you just memorize the basics of these, you'll be in the top 1% of marketers and salespeople around the world. I can assure you of that. Now, here are the principles. R-class. R-C-L-A-S-S. Let's go through them real quickly. R, reciprocity. If I give you something, you're more likely to give me something back. 2, commitment. As you get older, commitment and consistency bias is very powerful. So if you're trying to get a surgeon to a lab or to commit to a dinner, send them an email and have them put down in writing that, yes, I'll try and be there. Commitment, tendency, and bias is a strong one. Liking. If I am like you and you are like me, we're more likely to persuade each other. This has a lot to do with being part of the same tribe, which you can reference here in The Moral Animal. The main thing that you need to know about this and other books like The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins is that a lot of what we do that is seen as altruism is really because we like each other because it's a survival of our genes. So if you're like me, you are more trustworthy. Next, authority bias. Now, many of the people who watch my videos have seen that all the way through, and if you made it this far in the video, you'll realize that I used an authority bias on you earlier to persuade you to watch this video by saying that Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, billionaires who make a lot more money than you and I, endorse this book. So there is authority bias. Marlboro sold a lot of cigarettes just by having doctors dress up in white coats and say, between seeing my patients, I always smoke a Marlboro cigarette just to get more focused and sharp. Scarcity. Scarcity principle is a great one. Amazon is very good at using this because Amazon can be is technically one of the biggest companies in the world, but yet they'll say influence only has 5 copies left, so you should buy one now. Be careful when it comes to using scarcity bias as a marketer. It's free. Subconscious triggers are great to use because they don't cost anything, but you don't want to get addicted to using it. Otherwise, you're going to be just manipulative and an amateur. And lastly is social proof. So social proof, again, going back to what Robert Wright writes in The Moral Animal, we're always looking to see what the tribe's doing because it has to do with survival. So when we go to the grocery store and we buy toothpaste, we're not just looking for features and benefits. We're looking for something that the tribe likes. So what's a bigger tribe than America? So when we see America's #1 recommended brand, we end up buying it. So there's a book on influence. Definitely buy it. Highly recommended. You have to know these 6 principles, not only to be better at marketing and sales, but also to protect yourself from bad marketing and manipulative marketing. Drop a comment below. What's your favorite principle of influence that you end up using? And just to see how vulnerable people want to be today, which principle do you find yourself falling victim to most often? Or let's not say victim to. Which principle do you end up fitting into your worldview to further buy into whatever you want to buy into? Have a great day, and I'll see you next week.